Hello friends, welcome back to the next session. Today we're going to discuss about something called as agentic coding. In the previous sessions, we were discussing about a couple of things. We understood a little bit about generative AI. We did a small program to connect with generative AI using Olama. And then we understood about agentic AI. We built on agentic AI where we kind of saw like how to create a end-to-end agent using a no-code, low-code tool called as NA10. So those are introductory demos. So if you have not attended one of the introductory demos, please talk to the organizers. They will be able to share you the recordings of the demo. All right. So, but today what we are going to do is we're going to do a demo kind of a session on agentic coding. Okay. Agentic coding is also a very, very interesting piece which everyone in the company is expected to do. And but there is a right way to do it. Or else what's happening right now is there's a lot of spend happening in the companies. The millions of tokens they are being spending in the companies for doing coding, especially developer related coding. So there is a right way of doing it. So what we're going to do is first understand how that is done, and then eventually in the course, we will know all the best practices. So today again, it is like touching the waters of what is possible, art of possible in the agentic coding. If you have any questions in during the session, please use the chat window and then put your question. I'll try to answer from the chat window. All right. What we are going to look at is you're going to see this example. You're seeing my Claude uh, portal. So this is, I'm sure you guys are using Claude. If you're not using Claude, please start using it starting today. Claude is similar to ChatGPT. The way you go is Claude.ai. And of late, I've been using Claude a lot for a lot of research work. If you want to do a lot of research work, you want to do deeper analysis, create a document, create presentations, and all that stuff. Claude works really well. Now, this is my Claude account. It looks exactly similar to the ChatGPT kind of interface, but it has some other features as well. It is having chat and co-work. Co-work is the one which helps us to autonomously run the tasks and so on. And then chat is a regular interface. And if I look at the different options, it also provides a lot of model options. It is having Opus. Opus 5 is the latest complex task model. It's one of the uh, model which is used for doing a lot of complex research-oriented tasks, deeper analysis, deeper reasoning. Sonnet is the everyday model. By default, I will be using Sonnet. Whenever we want complex analysis, I will switch to Opus. There is also this Fable. Fable also released few weeks back. Of course, it was released and then again it was stopped. This was renamed by their frontier model called as Mythos. Mythos is renamed as Fable. And then Fable is capable of doing a lot of great things, but it is now behind a specific access curtain. So you need to require certain credits for accessing Fable. This particular requirement changes from country to country. I'm in India, so that is the consideration for India. But if you are in US or other part of the world, the conditions might change. I use these three models, Opus, Sonnet, and Haiku. Haiku is the model which is for quick access, quick output, faster output, faster process and so on. And then it also charges very minimal, right? The charges which Opus charges is very minimal. That is that's what we would be using. I'll be showing about these models in greater detail in the future, but for now, just understand that this is similar to ChatGPT. So if you guys are using this particular Claude, can you put a yes in the chat window so that I understand that you guys are using it for your regular purpose? Or you tell me like what is your favorite AI companion? Is it ChatGPT or Claude? Is it ChatGPT or Claude? What do you use? Okay. Some people use ChatGPT, some people use Claude, some people use Gemini. Okay, Gemini also. Gemini and Copilot, there is Cursor also. Yeah, I think both of them, but the things changes, right? In the future, we are going to wait and watch what is going to happen. Some of the offerings provided by Claude in the recent past, they have surpassed ChatGPT. So that's the reason people are shifting towards it. But the old school guys who are still using ChatGPT for everything, they continue using it. Right? I can say both. So I also use both. But things have changed a little bit towards Claude for code aspects and so on. I'm not sure if you've used Claude Code. Yes, I have used. Can you type, yes, I have used Claude Code? Did you use Claude Code for any of your purpose? Okay, so few of them. All right. Anyway, even if you have used, no problem. I will talk about it a little bit, but there is a right way of doing it, so it will help you guys to understand in great detail. So there is a procedural oriented approach for doing projects in Claude. That is what the need of the hour. So we're going to look at that as an example. So nowadays everyone is using it, so I don't disagree. It is a go-to code. Probably you might be using a variant of it, like Cursor or Copilot, right? Copilot, the GitHub Copilot embedded with Visual Studio Code. So variants of that could be provided by your company. So you might be using variants of it, but irrespective of what do you use, it is always essential for us to understand the right way of doing it. So here you could do a lot of things. I'm not going to explain ChatGPT's or Claude's interface. The purpose here is to just introduce this and then getting into the popular subscriptions of Claude. So there are a couple of subscriptions which you may need to take if at all you want to use the Claude Code and Claude Cowork. Um, I don't recommend you taking it right away, but as we go deeper in the course, we will be getting into the section of agentic coding and so on. There you can think and decide whether you want to take it or not. I would also be teaching free way of accessing Claude Code. That means that we will do the engineering work of uh, decoupling the Claude Code with the Claude suite of models and then connect it with a free model and then make it like work for free for your coding purpose, right? So we will do all the jugaad to make it free so that you could use that free for lifetime. And but there is some work which is required. We will learn that as we go deeper in the course. So these are first few sessions are just introductory sessions. So I'll keep it simple so we understand what are the basics of the tool. So if you see, there are three options. There is a free option, the pro subscription, and the max subscription. So if I come down, the free subscription is the basic one, whatever we can get. You can get chat on the web, iOS, Android. So you can create a free account with your Gmail and you'll be able to get all these options. Pretty much like a chat GPT option. You get a chat option, you will be able to generate code within the chat, visualize data, write and create content, analyze search web, use memory across conversations. You can create files, execute code, do all that stuff. You can connect with Slack and Google Work Services. All that stuff can be done with a free version. There are certain limits on doing certain things, but unless until you are like a normal regular user, you'll not have any issues in using the free version. Now, if you see, it can generate code, but it can generate code like a chat interface. For example, you go to the chat, you can ask it to create a code, you can ask it to create a function application, create an HTML page and so on that it will create. So I can go here and I can say create an HTML page for something, and then it will create that HTML page. You can copy and paste and then run it somewhere. So that is how it would work on the chat interface. Now, coming to the Pro version has the capabilities of Claude Code, Cowork, Design, and Science. So these are the ones which are now additionally available. Now, I have used Cowork and a little bit of design. I have not touched the Science. Probably I might need to experiment. Maybe for this batch, I'll take opportunity to experiment a couple of more things on Science, and then we will see some examples of what we can do with that. But pretty much, I think Claude Design, Claude Cowork, they are really good. You should use it if you are using in your day-to-day work. Claude Code has become synonymous to working because there is a term called as vibe coding, which came into picture, I think, a year or two back, where people are using the tools like ChatGPT and other ones to write code, like Copilot and other ones to write code. But now it has evolved to something called as vibe engineering. Now, vibe coding is just asking it to write code. That is a simple thing, anybody can do it. But vibe engineering is the right way of doing it. And we are going to do vibe engineering in our course. So why it is required? Why is vibe engineering required? Because I can ask any simple chatbot on creating some code and so on, and then it will create a code for us. But unless until you know like a right way of doing it, you would end up spending a lot of tokens. And that is where we want to optimize the right creation of the project. And then there is a methodological way of doing things as well. This is called as spec-driven development. Typically, we implement spec-driven development in doing agentic coding. That means that first you define how the project should look like. You will create a boilerplate code. You will scaffold the different components of the project. You will do a basic testing and then do a phase-wise approach for creating a full project. That's what you do. So Claude Code is the one. Claude Cowork, Design, Science, and other ones are used. Now, the Pro version, you need to spend like $20. If you take for a yearly subscription, you just have to spend $17. But you spend around $20 per month for getting the Pro subscription. And across the world, it's the same price. So I also pay $20 every month, billed every month. Every month, I think 22nd, I'll get the bill, and you have to give your credit card for the billing. Now, Claude Pro subscription, they will have some limits. It is not like unlimited. You can get a $20 and you could do unlimited. The 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 $20, the Pro version will have um, some limits. When you go to the max version, you need to pay $100 per month. $100 per month comes up with extensive opportunity. So you'll get like a 5x or 20x more usage based over the Pro plan, depending upon what you select. And then higher output limits will be there. You have advanced cloud features and so on. Pretty much like if you pay $100, it is like a developer is recruited for you. He or she can do anything for you just for $100. And then I have experimented on the $100 version and the $20 version. And then I'm sticking to the $20 version because I am not creating any, I'm not running any enterprise. But imagine you are running an enterprise or you're kind of a small startup, part of a small startup or something. It is always better to take a max version because you will not run out of any limits. There are some weekly limits for the pro version. I'll be talking about them, how to work with the limits and so on. So the difference between vibe coding and the vibe engineering, which I was talking, vibe coding means you can ask here to code something. So you're talking to the chat interfaces to code something. That is the vibe coding. Whereas a flavor of that will also be with the coding tools. I'll show that. And then vibe engineering is the methodological way of doing that. When the prompt engineering is talking about writing a prompt for correctly getting your output, right? Of course, the words are interchangeably used. Eventually, we are seeing that people say prompt engineering, and then if you remember, and 1 year back or so, everywhere you go onto YouTube, they will say that you become a prompt engineer or else your life is waste, right? And then now also I get so irritated that there are some courses, some people say that if you learn Python in a manual way in 2025 or something like I I don't know why I get all those ads. I'm not sure if you are also bombarded with those ads. Then you you understand the pain, right? So there's so much of ad this thing I get, and then they say that you learn the tool, AI tool, and then you'll master it, and then you'll earn $100,000 or even more. And then they give this kind of a wrong notion, which is not true. So what we are going to understand, it is not just with the prompt engineering we can do all that stuff. There are a lot of things which need to be understood, and right way of doing things will help us get better opportunities. And we we try to strive to get that kind of right balance so that we can we can get the right understanding, right way of doing output creation. All right. So what we will do today is I'll talk about the Claude subscription and the Claude Pro specifically, and we will try to do a simple application. Just let me know in the chat if you guys want to create any small application, a very simple web application. Okay. I'll try for that creation directly in the class today. All right. So let me open my coding editor. I use Visual Studio Code. Just give me a second, I'm opening my code editor. And then I'll name this code platform as a test project. Just creating the project. Just give me a second, I'm sharing. Just give me a second. So I've created a project called as test project. So this is the project which I'm created. I'll create a simple Kanban board, UI with a simple Kanban board where I have like to do in progress, review complete, something like that, right? So four steps. So we are familiar with Kanban board, a typical agile methodology. So let us create a very simple Kanban board using agentic coding. The first thing, this is a folder where I will write the code inside it. The first file which we need to create in the agentic coding is something called as Claude.md. So if you're using Claude, you use Claude.md. Now, what is this file? Claude.md is a markdown file. So I can say project Kanban. Okay, so what this will do, this is a project which creates a nice UI. Preferably Next.js. I'm just writing something, okay? So let us see. This is a project which creates a nice UI for Kanban using the latest UI. The features, there will be 4 sections in Kanban. They are in progress or to do. ESS. First one is to do, in progress, and maybe say review and complete or done. All right, 4 sections. I want to create like a Kanban kind of an interface. We'll have 4 sections. You can add a task in any of these sections. Tasks will have a name, will have a title, and a description. Right? Can move the tasks one action and third action. Have a proper okay, I just wrote something. So what I'm writing here is this is a simple prompt. Now, what the Claude MD will have is typically the entire project structure. So when I'm using this Claude code, here I am showing you on the right side, there is a little orange color icon. So if you install Claude on your Visual Studio Code, you can install from the extensions. On the left side, you see extensions. You have to search Claude code, and then you will see the Claude code extension, which is already installed. If you see this one, the first one is the Claude code, which is also already installed on my machine. So that is what you have to install. So once you install, you will see this kind of a little orange color button. I click on that, and that will open a Claude code on my um, Visual Studio Code. So the extension is available in the Visual Studio Code. And the first file you need to use is the Claude Markdown, where I'll just write a basic information. Okay. And then first time when you are opening the Claude code, it will ask you to connect it to the Claude. So it will authenticate it. For me, it is already connected, so it is showing that directly. And then, but for you, it might ask for the first time to connect, and then once you connect, you will be able to get this kind of a look and feel, a chat look and feel. What I want to do is I will directly write, like read the, the Claude.md file in the test project folder and create a UI application for Kanban board. Make sure you use a front end update the Claude.md with the project structure, with the description, introduction, project structure, setup, and others. I'm just writing that, okay, first read this Claude.md in the test folder and create your application for the Kanban board. Make sure you use. So the skill is something which I'll talk in deep. But for now, I'm saying that what was use something called as front-end design skill, which will help us to create a nice UI for properly creating the UI and other layouts, and update the Claude.md with the description, introduction, project structure, setup, and other things. So this particular file will be updated once I do it. Okay, what I'm doing is I am selecting the option called as edit automatically so that it will not ask me any questions. There is also a plan mode which gets into the proper way of doing planning, but I'll do that later. For now, I am just directly going and writing the code, so we'll understand what is going to happen. So I say edit automatically and then run. What this will do, okay, so as you see, it's asking me the cloud subscription. Let me open it. Where is it? So it is asking me to connect to my Gmail account. It is Gmail account. All right. So this is what it will ask. So first time, if you're logging in, so once it says build something great, then you're done. That means that you're connected and you're able to do it. You're able to authenticate. So auth session expired. That's what it says. And run it again one more time. Now it is connected. So as you see, it's now going to this test project which we have created, and it will read the contents of this test project. We only have one small file, claude.md, and that is going to read that file. And so empty project, just the claude.md. So it's just read the file, and then now it is trying to check whether I have Node or NPM installed. If they are not installed, it will install those on your machine. Why it is checking Node and NPM? Because I asked to create a Next.js project. So it will create a nice front-end looking Next.js project. So that is what it is testing. It is also testing for other things. Do I have Next.js, the TypeScript, Tailwind, other stuff? If it is there, then it will not there, it is installing. It will check. So, so it is scaffolding the base Next.js app in the test project directory. So here you would see that there will be a scaffold in few minutes. Now, as you see, this is not like a chat-based thing where I'm talking to it, it is giving me code. It is working on the project itself. In the left side, you see the entire Next.js scaffold has come up, and then you're also seeing the layout, your the TypeScripts and typical images and other stuff. Everything is available right now. So what is happening is it is going and doing everything for us. So somehow it has removed this file as well, cleared it off. Probably it will create a nice newer version of Claude. Move Claude aside and the scaffold the Next.js app. So it has deleted Claude and then it has created this scaffold. Once the scaffold is completed, it will create the Claude file for us again. It's adding all the node modules. As you see, the ones which is going to use so many of them. Of course, the size of the project will increase. So it's added all the node modules. So once that is done, what it will do is it will create a very basic look and feel UI. The way I can run this is I have to do a npm run dev. When I do that, it opens up the dev instance. Typically, it will run on port 3000. So we'll see where it has hosted it, and then we'll see that it will run on that port 3000. My intent here is to just to create a very simple application. I just have to go accept. Here I'm not creating a very detailed one, but if you see, it is again recreating the Claude redundant agents.markdown. It will go and update the Claude project with the instructions. Let me see if it has created a README. Okay, it has created a separate README. I wanted to update the Claude. So here are some of the dependencies. So it is creating a framer motion because I have asked to create a nice animation when I'm moving the cards from one section to another section. I hope we are aware about a Kanban board. I'm sure every day, if you're doing daily sprints and so on, we will be using the Kanban board. So it is now what it is doing is it is installing the dependencies, configure the tailwind design tokens, means it will create the CSS layout, colors and fonts and showdown, and build the Kanban data model. This is like for storing the information. And then once I log in back again, you should be able to get the same kind of look and feel. So it will have a physical data model, local storage for persistence and other stuff. So that it will create. And then after that, build UI components like board, column, task card, add task model, and all that stuff. And then you create the animation for drag and drop, and then finally it will run the UI. That's what it is doing. So if you see, it's first setting up the design fonts, tokens. So I've asked to use the front-end design guardrails, so it will design based on those guardrails. Means it will use the space, this particular font, space grotesque. That's the one it is using. And then it's also using the inter font. That's the fonts it is using. So UI is done. I think this part section is done. Now it is trying to go and build the data model. So data model, we are trying to keep it simple. A simple data model will be used with the build hook and local storage. We'll try to create that part. Of course, I can create like a front end in Next.js and back end in Python. I can do that, but for simplicity's sake, I just asked to create using a basic application itself. So it is now creating based on Node. You can create a backend with Python also. but you have to specify within our documentation, you will specify what to do. So here it has created the Next.js README file. If we go to the Claude, it will update after. So after creating everything, it will update the description, structure, and setup docs. Everything it will update in the end. I hope you'll be able to complete this within the time of the class. But what it is doing is it is now creating the data model. Probably I could have taken a simpler example than this, like a simple UI, maybe a portfolio page or something like that, which does not have a data model. But never mind. We are okay. We'll spend some time here. It's creating the board components and update the page TSX for the board. All the code is being written. If you see, it is between the source and the app and page. So now the project is ready. So it is asking to test it. So we have to let's start the dev server and check the build type errors first. So it's basically it's starting the test server, and then you're doing npm run dev, starting the Next.js server, check the dev server is start output. So it is checking whether the server is running or not. Of course, we can also check. I can go to localhost colon 3000. Still spinning, asking, okay, so there is a browse skill. Let me check if it is running or not. So it is running. So as you see, it is running. It has created some test boards also. So browse skill is another skill which will help us to test this. Means this is like our Selenium guy who will test everything. I don't want that to do. We will do manual testing. Okay, I said no. Please update Claude. Okay, did it update? It already updated, right? So it updated with a basic detail. Let me test it quickly. Test the UI application. And if you see now, nice project is created. I'll be able to drag and drop here. Correct. Be able to drag and drop. And then there are different color codes also. This is having blue, this is having brown, purple, and green. If you're done, it is getting green. It is giving us some details like to do, there are two tasks, in progress, one task review. And then I can add tasks. Nice little card is coming up. This is a sprint task for creating a Kanban code layout. Create the Kanban board with a nice looking UI layout. Okay, so this is to do. I can select whether I want to keep it in progress review. So to do. So these options are there. I say add task and I see that a new board is there. So once I move it here, then it will change color. And move it here, it is changing the color. As you see, this is good, right? I say go to the end, and then this is. Let me see if it is. If I double click, it should show me. Oh, it's not showing me. So I don't have an ability to edit. So once I create, okay, that is also a feature. I can add a task and then it opens up. Adding task can be added anywhere, but what it is, what I'm able to do is I am able to move the task to different levels and then do it. Now I can add more Any questions on this? Use the chat window, please. And if you have any questions, please put them in the chat window. I'll be able to answer. So what we have done is we have used the Claude.md to give the instructions to the Claude code. Okay. And when we are giving the instructions, what happens is the Claude always takes the Claude.md every time. For if I'm closing this window and I'm starting a new window, what it will do is it will load the Claude.md by default. So if I create a Claude.md with the proper instructions, of course, here it has not yet created it. We can update the Claude.md saying that what is the project, what is the structure of the project, what all things are there in the project. Then my Claude will not spend a lot of time to interrogate with my project files. If it is reading all the project files, then my tokens which are going to the LLM will be increased. So I don't want my tokens to the LLM to increase. I am just creating a, what I mean to say is it's like a metadata or to do for my Claude to work. And then every time Claude.md will be loaded for the Claude to understand what the project is about. So it is always essential, very good that you create a nice Claude.md so that all the documentation will be um available for the Claude to work. Understood? This is, you can directly say this prompt in the chat and it will create the application. But the next time when you say, okay, for now, what I'm saying is, um, I wanted to have the edit feature for the task cards. Currently, if I click, I do not have the edit capability. Okay. Please implement and add feature. Okay. So when I'm saying this, what happens is if the Claude is not properly available, first it will read Claude. When I give this instruction, it will read Claude.md file. It'll understand what is the project structure, all the details, and then it goes to a specific file where it has to go and update. That's what it is happening right now. So it is going and reading all that information. It's saying good catch. Click on the Claude should open an editor. And so an editor, let me add the task. So it is saying update task, create or edit. So an action on the board, click connect. So I want to click the card and then it should have an edit option. Or it should show me that card and I should be able to edit. I should be able to delete. Okay, it is also giving an ability to delete also. So let us see, it will take a few minutes and then it will provide you the information. Now currently it is using a model. If I do a slash model, it is using a Sonnet model. So if you see, currently it is showing me a Sonnet 5 model. If I want to switch model, I can go and click here and then I will be able to switch between the models. If I wanted to do tough task, I will go for Opus. Sometimes I can go for Fable also. And if I want to do quicker tasks like writing code and so on with the cheap money, I'll be able to use Haiku. So you can say slash command. There are slash commands. You could using the slash commands. We will learn all the slash commands in detail as we go deeper in the course. But for now, you could use a slash command to check the suppose usage. So there is this usage. I click on the usage, so it will show me the current usage. So this is my Claude Pro subscription, and there is a 5 hour usage limit. We have used 6% in the 5 hour usage limit, and then weekly limit I just use 1%. So I'm not I'm not using the money to the greatest extent, but if you see, we have a good amount of leeway. All right, so it has done the code. It is rerunning it. Let us check if that feature is there. So if the feature is there, we will test that feature quickly, and then we are done. No typo errors. The app in the browser make sure drag and drop working properly. Ah, I entered the browse skill. Let me stop it. I don't want the browse skill, so I interrupted this. So we will understand about what this browse skill does. It does a comprehensive testing, guys. So I'll show you how to add these skills and so on, but not for today, but for a later session. It will do comprehensive testing. Let me come back here, refresh it. So yeah, so I think our project is gone because it has not persisted. It created a new one. Anyway, let me add a project here. Here also I have plus. So wherever I can click, this is a test card, testing, edit functionality. Okay. I see an error here. So let us see if this is still works. What is the error? Issues. Gee, attributes didn't match then. So something it's saying it did not match. We can ask it also. There is a error. There's an error when loading the page. I can just copy this part and then give it. We'll check and fix it. Very convenient, right? So now this is convenient, but thing is that we need to get a little awareness about what is it doing, whether it is doing right or not. So if we don't do that, uh, if you don't know what is it doing, then it ends up spending a lot of money. So that is where we need a thing called as spec-driven development. We will do a spec-driven development. Eventually, we'll see what is a procedure-oriented development for this. That will help us to build better product. Okay, I've asked it to fix it. I think it is fixing. No type errors. Let's check to, oh, I don't want the browse skill. Go, let us check. Oh, this is even bad. Localhost. This is even bad. So something it messed up. So let, let it fix it. Fixing and rebooting it. Yeah, now it is clean. So I'll quickly do a test task, test card, and then I say testing edit and add task. So we have the test card and the testing edit. How to edit? I click on it. Again, I say um, test card updated. Wonderful. Oh, testing edit. Wonderful. Is working. Test card. Save changes. Test card updated. Testing. Wonderful. It is working. Again, testing. Click it. Again, testing. Updated. Is good. All those things are there. I also delete task. Delete task. This is gone. Wonderful. So, got it. I can click on any of them and I'm seeing that working. Polish empty load states. I would like to move it in progress for a change. Wonderful. This is all working, and this will be available with our pro version. For free version, you can't do it because this Claude code is not available. We are using the Claude code. Claude code is available with the pro version, but the free version, you can just use this. Here I can say build a UI page. Then you will be manually doing it. Currently now I have an integration with the entire code. If you see, it has created so many libraries. So you see app, these many layout components. If you see component, these are all the components. I go to the board.dss. So it has created all this entire board layout, board loader, task card. For every task, there is a card, right? So that card, the motion. So did it create a motion? So you see this kind of a motion. This is animated layout. So you see, and if I'm hovering over it, it is kind of giving me a shadow thing also. So all that stuff is provided for me. So if for example, sometimes we don't want Claude to change the UI design. I want a standard UI design for the application. Look and feel, there is company standards also, right? So I want to apply that standard design. Then what we can do is we can create all that standard designs and then create a markdown file for that. Here, if you see, it has created two markdown files. One is the Claude markdown file, which is talking about this project. And there is this README markdown file, which talks about how to set up this, how to run this, right? It's also giving an option to run it on a Vercel for a production deployment. But for testing, you would do an npm run dev, and this will host the app on localhost 3000. This is where it will be hosting. If I want to say I want to have a standard UI, then I can give like UI standard dot markdown. And then I say in the claude.md, in the start, I say that whenever you're applying the UI, please ensure that the UI standard markdown file is referenced and all the standards are applied as per the guided standards. Then what will happen? It will just use the same standards. Maybe in the UI standards, you can give brand colors, brand layouts, button length, their typography, and all that stuff can be included in that standards markdown file. Got it? So it will not change the design every time. Every time it is doing any change, it will not give a new layout, uh, new look and feel. So that will not happen. How is Claude doing in the session? It is doing good. So that's what I gave you the feedback. All right. So what we understood today, so we are at the top of the hour. Thank you very much. But what we really understood today is it's a jam-packed session today. I hope you enjoyed it. What we did is we used the Claude code for creating this nice little look and feel, and it is working really well. And I can do a lot of things. In fact, I also tested the delete part. It deleted the task, and then I can hover over it. Where is it? Why it's not coming? Come on. No, it's not. This is working. This is also working. Yeah. Okay, it can do this kind of reshuffling also. And then I can hover and drag. Wonderful. So all those things are possible, and then we saw that we have created a very nice looking UI. Okay. Any questions? Quick ones. I only have 1 minute. So this particular thing required cloud subscription. Some companies offer Copilot, some companies offer Cursor, and some companies offer Claude. Right? If you're so what we are learning is the we will learn all those other tools as well. But for now, we are just learning um, how this cloud code is used. Yeah, and maybe you might need to take subscription. And I also told that I will provide you a free version of Claude, but in the course we will do that. So today I'm trying to just touch the waters, right? So we're trying to see what is possible, and then we are trying to understand the basics, right? So if you guys already know this, it's well and good. But if you don't know, um, I'm trying to create it. Now, this is the basic way everybody does it. In the course, what we'll do is we will do a procedural way of doing this, like how to apply spec-driven development for building this project. Even basically, it created a very nice looking UI. One trick I used is using the front-end design skill, and that's the reason it created a nice little UI. If I don't use it, it would have created a different way. So we will learn about the procedural way of doing these things, how to go step by step of doing this work. Because now what I did, I have no control of the application, the amount of testing to be done, amount of token control, all those things are not there. As we use the spec-driven development, we will be using that. Okay, so this is like a hello world example. Pretty much you might have already tested this. So if you already done it, well, wonderful, great. But as we go deeper, we will do more things. All right. So thank you very much. We'll come back tomorrow and we will look at other stuff. Till then, take care, guys. Have a nice day. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.